Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Thursday Morning Live. Wherever you're joining us, whether you're on LinkedIn Live here or Facebook or YouTube, we are glad that you're here with us today. We're broadcasting live from Chicago, and one thing I want to say is this morning I have a friend of mine, a coaching client, somebody that we've just gotten to know each other well over the last year or so, and he's a local entrepreneur from Chicago. He's got an interesting business in the staging arena. It's not real estate, but it is real estate, right? It's in that space. So here's what I'd like to say. We're going to talk about a lot of things this morning, but if you're a local Chicago entrepreneur, or a local Chicago entrepreneur that would love to be on this Thursday Morning Live, talk about their business, we'd feature them. Let me know. Reach out to me by email. I'd love to have you here. So remember that we are here every Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Central, and look forward to bringing you great talent, great insights and ideas every week. So let me do this. I'm going to bring my guest in. My guest is Seth Williams. He's with Interior Drama. They're a staging company here in Chicago. I've watched Seth restructure his company a couple of times over the last few months and grow it, and really starting to take off now. So I think that he's got a lot to say about that. So let me bring Seth in. Hey, buddy. Good morning.
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
How's it going?
Excellent. How you doing?
I'm great. Good to see you.
Yeah, you as well.
I know that. Yeah, thank you. Did you turn your volume up a little?
Yes.
What kind of coffee are you drinking, Seth?
I drink black coffee, whatever they got at the local market around here. So I think it's all the same. I'm not a coffee snob, just drink it black.
Yeah, you're not a connoisseur. Me either, really. I mean, I think you're right. It is kind of all the same. Hey, let me just tell you something kind of interesting. I did a poll on LinkedIn over the last couple of days. I don't know if you saw it or not, but here's what I said. Which ghost? So this is in correlation to Christmas Carol. You've seen that movie or play or at Christmas time, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said, which ghost is critical to your growth personally and professionally? I said past, current, and future. So here's how people have answered so far. It's only been a couple days, 22 votes. Past said 36%, current said 36%, and future said 27%. What would you say?
I would go with current.
Really? Tell me why.
Yeah, I think that current is obviously the one that you can work on the most, which will lead to the things that you're hoping to accomplish and actually improve the future. I think a lot of people don't take the time to reflect on things that are going well or going poorly in their lives.
Yeah.
And really try to like restructure their current situation, as well as I think people focus too much on the past, which doesn't really help much.
Yeah. Well, but don't we learn from the past?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that analyzing past mistakes, or things that worked could also help with growing in the future. I personally am one to look at where I currently am in life and then extrapolate a few things from the past and where I want to go in the future. So that's where I gain the most benefit is current.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was, and I'll just tell you that I would have thought if I would have saw that post, I would have thought just automatically I'd have put past, right? Because I think I've learned so much over the years, and it doesn't even become education anymore, but it's the wisdom you gain along the way when you do it. So, but I was surprised to see people put current. So it was just kind of interesting. So. Hey, Seth, listen, here's something I always ask my guests when they're on the show. One word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
I would say determined. Um, I feel like I'm determined to, prove to myself that I'm capable of accomplishing specific things in my personal life as well as my professional life. And there's one Arnold Schwarzenegger speech, and he says, something along the lines of like prove to the naysayers that they're wrong. So I'm determined to prove to other folks that certain things can be done, but more determined to prove to myself I can do things.
Yeah. Who do you have a lot of naysayers in your life, or?
No, I think everybody. It's definitely taken time to weed out naysayers, but I think I currently have a really good group of family and friends that are more optimistic and definitely help with the growth.
Interesting. So let's do this. Talk about your business a little bit. Talk about how you got into it, your background, where you're from. Give us a good overview of Seth.
Sure. So I'm the owner of Interior Drama. We are a Chicago-based home staging company, and for those not familiar with home staging, it is essentially, glorified furniture rental to realtors and real estate investors whenever they're selling their properties. So we have a big warehouse full of all the furniture, artwork, accessories, and whenever somebody's selling their property, they'll reach out to us so that we can come in and make the place look stellar, and with the ultimate goal of selling the piece of property faster and for more money. And I got into this business kind of in a roundabout way. I'm not an interior designer by trade. My background is banking, so that's what I got into immediately after really undergrad and grad school was investment banking. So I was primarily helping companies acquire other companies in the insurance brokerage space, and then also helping private equity companies raise debt and other forms of capital to purchase portfolio companies.
Have you always been in Chicago, Seth?
So I'm from Arizona.
Oh,
So I grew up, from age 3 up until I was 20. Lived in Tucson, Arizona, and that's where I went to undergrad as well at the University of Arizona.
so how'd you wind up in Chicago, Seth?
I wanted 4 seasons of weather. It was
Really?
so no, that's not the main reason was the finance industry. So I kind of had the option here or New York, and I had more buddies that lived here, and they kind of just convinced me, it's cheaper in Chicago, come check it out. And I fell in love with the city.
Yeah, Chicago's a great place in the summer, isn't it? With the lakefront and outdoor eating and the neighborhoods and the festivals, and there's a lot to do locally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just need to get through this rain and
Yeah,
get
boy,
through this.
we're in that pocket right now though of some gloomy skies and rain and chilliness still, getting to
Yeah,
that spring, but always just before Easter, right?
right. Yeah.
So, what is your favorite neighborhood festival or favorite summer thing to do here in Chicago?
That's a good question. I'm a big lake guy, so I go to the lake, even in the winter, at least once a week to exercise or just hang out. But in terms of street festival, there's this one that they have up on, it's like Belmont. It's Belmont and Sheffield.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called, but they have local bands as well as local food vendors, and I feel like that's kind of the quintessential neighborhood festival, kind of in Wrigleyville. It's a lot of fun.
Good way to put that. Yeah, that's a fun fest. That's always one that nice to ride your bike over to and just chain it to a tree, right? So,
Yeah,
so let's talk a little bit about interior drama. Um, let's talk about your business and who's your client, Seth? Who do you like to service and help?
yeah, that's a good question. A lot of in the staging arena, you kind of have a few folks that you can service. So there are the real estate agents who are selling properties, and then they recommend us to their sellers. And then there are real estate investors, whether they're doing a fix and flip project or they are doing buy and hold and renting it out. Those are some good clients. And then just directly to the homeowner. So of those three, we've decided to focus on the first two. So realtors and real estate investors, mostly the fix and flip real estate investors.
Hmm.
And it's generally because those clients are essentially businesses. So we want to kind of remain a B2B service. So whenever a realtor reaches out, they know what staging is. They know the economic benefit that it can help them grow their business. And same thing for real estate investors. They understand that if they're flipping a project or a property, that we're going to help them do that, and they can look at some numbers and see the overall benefit. We've kind of carved out and not really focused on the homeowner, primarily because the customer acquisition cost is a lot higher, and profitability is a little bit lower. So we have kind of niched down recently and just tried to focus on real estate investors, as well as real estate agents.
Yeah, interesting. Hey, you know what? What's interesting is that I sold real estate for a number of years. I've been in the business 30 years, but when I first got in the business, there was not even staging, and it kind of has caught on the last few years. Like it's a big thing to do, whether you already live in a house and have furniture in there, or whether you did a rehab and were an investor trying to get it ready to put back on the market. So it's been interesting how that has grown as a business and how big it's gotten and caught on.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think because many people, it took a lot of education to show them this is to your overall like financial benefit, not just really HGTV, hoo-ha, fun, decorating. It's really about the numbers, and I think that educating people on that, the psychology behind buying and the overall benefit and effect that staging has on a property or a listing is something that took a long time to educate people.
So when you talk about the numbers, be specific about that. Are people selling their house quicker for more money when it's staged? Is it the same? How do those work for the homeowner?
Yeah, that's a good question. So that's what we essentially say is staging helps you sell your property faster and for more money. And right now it's definitely a seller's market. So things are selling super fast. If you stage it or not. In this market, it's more so about getting the overall price point that you want. So instead of there being a price reduction, what I would say is staging costs less than the first price reduction. So it's locking in the desired price, or even getting over asking. And there's a lot of studies and statistics out there in regards to this aspect, how much quicker and how much more money. Some of them are 3 to 10% more on listing price versus if unstaged, and as well as 10 times quicker for staging. So a lot of different studies out there. But an example, if you're selling a $400,000 condo, the economic benefit from the holding the mortgage and it's selling quicker, as well as increase in list price, from my numbers, is about $15,000.
Interesting. I like the comment you made when you started that about it is cheaper to stage than do your first price reduction.
Yeah.
That has to be a great tool for a listing agent. Now, when I sold real estate, I focused solely on listings, right? I sold 125 listings a year. And so, we didn't do staging back then, but what you just said is so true. And I think it would have been so much more helpful to have this type of a business around at that time. But it's interesting. So I hope that if there's listing agents that are listing into this, or real estate agents that are listing into this, that they take heed in what you just said, because I think that that's a really true statement.
Yeah, it's definitely helped us, convert customers when you say it like that, because it can cost anywhere from 0.5% to 1% of the list price of the house. And so, the price reduction is generally larger than that.
So what did you do in banking when you were in the banking industry? What did you do? Were you a teller or?
No, I was,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, I was doing investment banking. So I was working, in Chicago and New York for one of the larger banks, and I started out doing mostly mergers and acquisitions, where for small banks. So we were actually merging community banks, and that was super interesting. I really enjoyed that. Then I moved to another bank, and what we were doing is focusing on some of the specialty lenders and insurance brokerages do the same thing, acquire one another, and also tap the debt capital markets for financing. So those are the two main things.
It's interesting. And let me just be clear on this. Some tellers are my best friends. You know why? Because I give them my money, and I trust that when I give them my money that it's safe. So I love tellers. So hey, so did you not like the banking business, the mergers and acquisitions? Is that why you left and went into went and bought a business, or did you just want to be an entrepreneur?
Well, it was, I think I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I knew that was always something that I wanted to do. And while I was young, I knew that if I, rose so high in the corporate ladder and, got married and had kids and a mortgage, that it probably just wasn't going to happen, or it would be much more difficult. And my most recent job in banking, we were underwriting loans to private equity companies so that they could acquire portfolio companies. And I remember I resigned without anything lined up. It's just like, I'll figure out what to do next. And I remember I did some traveling, and a couple people were telling me, why don't you just buy a business? And then so I looked into it some more, and I read how to buy a business books. And those books were to a T exactly what I was doing in that banking role, where we helped private equity companies raise money. So it was almost identical to what I was doing in that regard with respect to raising debt, and then also going through the due diligence process to find a legitimate company. And I got some opportunities to look at several different businesses, and this one it made a lot of sense.
Yeah. Did you was there anything else that you looked at that intrigued you, or you were interested about it all, or?
Yeah, that's funny you asked. So I was looking at some past emails yesterday, and one of them was a landscaping business.
Okay.
And the other was water restoration. So, going in and remediating if there's a flood in somebody's property.
Okay. Yeah, the restoration business, a lot of franchises in that industry, but I think that if you start a business, you could do well in that. There's a lot to be said. There's a lot of correlations in some of the businesses that you and I have talked about too previously that correlate with real estate and what I do and you do. And, I think that, there's a big space there. There's a lot of opportunity. You kind of you talked about really being an entrepreneur. What does it mean to you to be an entrepreneur today? And especially in this environment we're in.
Yeah, I think that being an entrepreneur it's like I hold myself to a much higher standard, and I'm much more accountable to just my overall life now, because if it doesn't work out, it's not on me. And if I slack, things could go terribly wrong. So I think that's what one of the main reasons I did this was I wanted to bet on myself. I was like, I think I could do this. I don't necessarily fit in the corporate world too well. So, and so it's just betting on yourself, owning your results, and being accountable. We just did our core values exercise, and one of them we came up with was own your SHIT. So
yeah, you could go ahead. You could say that on here.
Yeah, own your shit. So
yeah, right. I think that's a great expression too, because it really lies on you, and there's those mornings that I feel like, man, I just want to pull the covers over my head or get on my bike and go to the lakefront, right, and just blow it off. But that's not going to solve any issues. So you just kind of keep pushing through. So, hey, Seth, favorite things you like to do?
So one of them is the lake. I live in the South Loop, and I can get pretty easily to the lake. And my favorite place in all of Chicago is 31st Street Beach. So a lot of people, they think of North Ave or some of the North Side beaches, but the South Side has some pretty fantastic beaches that definitely get overlooked. And that one has some pretty fantastic parties in the summer as well.
Really?
31st Street Beach, yeah.
Might have to start hanging out there.
Yeah, it's a good time. Bring some cigars. That, and I divvy everywhere. I mean, not in this weather, but the divvy bikes.
Yeah.
I like to take those when the weather isn't horrible to, even if something's 5 miles away, just take the bike lanes the whole way. It's a cool way to explore the city.
Yeah. A lot of great neighborhoods in the city, a lot of great submarkets, a lot of things to look at, explore. And even if you kind of get off the beaten track, it's okay, So
yeah, absolutely.
Hey, listen, favorite book you've read?
Favorite book I've ever read. Well, the one that I just read recently that has had a pretty significantly positive impact on my life is the 5 a.m. Club.
Really? I thought you were going to say Traction, but.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about the 5 a.m. Club, though.
No, now I want to talk about Traction. So Traction is a book on how to run your business. So right. I'm almost 2 years into owning this business, and 2021 was just like, sales were great, but overall it was like kind of a disaster. Things were just going off the rails. We didn't have the right staff. We had no policies and procedures. And everything, I was just so stressed out because I didn't have a system for doing anything. And Traction is a book about how to run a small business in every different facet with really simple tools on how to implement them. And it's just brought so much harmony to the business and so much, peace of mind. And we're seeing a lot of financial results as well.
Favorite restaurant, Seth?
Burger Point.
What?
It's in the South Loop. There's only one of them.
Okay.
And it is like an upscale fast food burger joint. And they have just everything on the menu is delicious. And they have the second best wings in Chicago.
Where's it at?
On 18th and State.
Okay. When they have to venture out.
It's good. The wings are great.
All right. Hey, Seth, this has been great. Any last comments or thoughts you want the listeners to hear about you?
I can be reached at Seth at ID Home Staging if you want to talk about, entrepreneurship, how to buy a small business, anything like that. I'm an open book and would, love to help folks.
Yeah, awesome. And that I know about you. Hey, we have a coaching call later today. So I can't wait to hear about that other book you were talking about now. So I'm looking forward to talking to you later today. Hey, listen, you want to hang out with me backstage for a minute? I'm going to move you out and say goodbye, and then sure. We'll reconnect. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mike.
You bet. Hey, everybody. So that was Seth Williams with Interior Drama, a Chicago local staging company. If you are in the real estate space, or if you are selling your house, or an investor that's doing a fix and flip, or need a model apartment staged, give Seth a call. If you're just thinking about maybe, trying to buy a business, you can talk to him. He's a network of information. He'll work with you and give you some ideas and suggestions. And like most people I know, he just loves the network. So you can reach out to him. You can reach out to me if you have any questions. And again, what I'd like to say, if you are a local Chicago entrepreneur and you'd like to come on with me on a Thursday morning, let me know. Reach out to me. If you know a local Chicago entrepreneur who should be on this Thursday morning live, please reach out to me and let me know, because I would love to feature local talent, local businesses, and continue to, talk to the local market. So, hey, if you are not following us, please follow us on anywhere you hang out on social media. Mike Morawski at, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or My Core Intentions also for that matter. So go to our YouTube channel, subscribe on our YouTube channel. And we have a couple of things coming up this year that you may want to take advantage of. Just completed our fundamentals, multifamily fundamentals boot camp, which was an awesome all-day event. Have 2 more boot camps in our global summit coming up in October this year. So they're events you may not want to miss. I'm sure you won't want to miss, because our global summit will have 20 national speakers that will come to a platform, and we will just talk about multifamily and real estate and investing and finance. So it'll be a great event. If you are somebody who is looking to get into the real estate investing space, the multifamily space, I have an opportunity for 8 individuals that we're going to be rolling out. If you want a little precursor about that, give me a call and we can talk about it a little bit. But I have an opportunity coming up for 8 individuals that will be very short-lived here in the next couple of weeks. So look forward to seeing everybody next Thursday. If we can do anything for you, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day, everybody.